nothing more than strangers passing by out on the street. And without you, I wouldn't. It's you. You. The air in my lungs, you're the fields where I run. You're the sky where I float in. Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. We got a wonderful show for you all today. I'm Sedona Harris.
I'm Lauren Quijano, and a little bit about the history of Open House will be coming up in a little bit, but just to give you like an overview, Open House is a very special weekend for us here in SLO. We've got the parade, we've got the club showcase, we've got lots and lots of things like concerts and farmers market, and this really is just an opportunity for all of our newly admitted students, prospective students, and their supporters to come and look at what Cal Poly has to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember when I came to Open House, that was just a little over a year ago, I guess, which is crazy to think about, but it was actually because of coming to Open House that I decided to commit to Cal Poly, and I feel like it does such a great opportunity of just showing all that this campus has to offer and really put it all on display for you to see and really get a good sense and feel of what Cal Poly does and their whole learn by doing philosophy. I remember going to all of the presentations that like Jeffrey Armstrong put on and like highlighting all of the cool things that this school does, and even going to like the club showcase and just seeing how many clubs were there and all of it felt like there was a club for every single person. Anything that you might possibly be interested in, there was a club and people who would be there to do it with you. And I just thought it was so cool, and it totally opened up that this is where I want to be.
Yes, I remember you were telling me earlier you committed at Open House, right?
I did, absolutely, yeah. It was so awesome, but yeah, a little bit more about like where Open House started from.
Yes, we are going to take a look at that right now.
When you first come to Cal Poly's Open House, you are greeted by rows of clubs, school spirit, and the Mustangs campus decked out in green and gold.
But the introduction to the Learn by Doing University didn't always start this way. The origins of Cal Poly's Open House started right here on campus over a century ago.
The first Open House event started in 1904 as the Farmers Institute and Basket Picnic. By 1908, the tradition had solidified as an established event of the school year. The picnic had become so popular that the Pacific Coast Railway would reduce fares, bringing more visitors. The Farmers' Picnic lasted up until the 1920s, and in 1933, the tradition known as Poly Royal began. On March 31st in 1933, the Country Fair on a college campus was born. The event had stock parades, campus tours, a baseball game, and an award show. Poly Royal evolved over the years, but still kept the welcoming aspect into its final years.
I mean, they all had, dinners and, alumni events and, food or barbecue or different things that they were selling.
And keeping the agricultural theme, Poly Royal also had cow milking contests, a rodeo, and the famous tractor pull.
I remember that the town was fun, the people were fun, being in the college life was fun. When I drove with friends from Modesto to go have fun and I'll say be a little rowdy, it got more rowdy in the ensuing years.
That rowdy behavior would lead to the end of Poly Royal in 1990.
I was there the year of the riots. We went for a walk to go get some soda, and we saw a bunch of activity. I had no idea what was going on.
We passed all this commotion and everything going down California Street, and we saw crowds of people, and we're like, whoa, I think we should get out of here because it looks like trouble. And then we saw the helicopters overhead, yeah, that's definitely trouble.
Rocks and beer bottles were thrown, cars were turned over, and storefronts were vandalized.
What I had been told was there was a lot of out-of-towners and lots of alcohol, and things happened. And then it was canceled from there on out.
Cal Poly had no open house events for 4 years. Then a smaller version of open house was approved. And in 2001, Cal Poly's open house was officially reinstated.
Now Cal Poly's Open House attracts thousands of alumni and prospective students, many with the hopes of wearing gold and green and becoming a Mustang. For Mustang News, I'm Ava Kirshner.
Yeah, Cal Poly has a very extensive open house history. It's actually really funny. I did not go to open house because the open house for my year, it was on the same day as my senior prom. So I chose to go to prom instead of open house. But I came back. I came back for a different weekend, my own open house.
And you know, that's all that matters. Yeah, no, even if you can't make it to open house, we still have so many great tour guides. I see them out every single day working hard, and you know, you can still get the full experience and really see all that this campus has to offer, even if you can't make it to open house. And I know that for some of you who might be here at open house, it could very well be your very first time in San Luis Obispo, and it can be a little bit confusing and intimidating, especially if you don't know all of the SLO lingo and phrases that people are referring to. So we're here to help you, and we have a package coming up that will explain a little bit more about SLO lingo for the locals.
This beautiful place is called the Lib, and so like, especially with like some friends, it's like, oh, I'm going to the Lib. We're like, I'm libbed. Like, I'm gonna be at the Lib for a while, and I'm just gonna stay here.
Well, when referring to the gym, I would call it the rec, usually, and a lot of new students might not be aware of that. Me and the boys are gonna hit the rec after this interview.
The biggest one is kind of Yak. Yeah, if people ask you like, oh hey, what dorm do you live in? Half the time people will just say, oh yeah, I'm from Yak. Like, they won't even say like, I'm from whatever building in Yakitutu. It's just one, it's Yak.
Even like SLO and Slow Town, that rolls off the tongue after you've been here a while, but if you're not part of the SLO community, it sounds weird to say slow. Seems like there's a W on the end, but no, it's just SLO.
Okay, one thing that really threw me off as a freshman is people calling Vista Grande, the dining hall, VG's. When are we going to VG's? When are we getting dinner?
Something that threw me off was calling the North Mountain dorms NOMO or Motel 6. Don't go to Motel 6 or something.
Poly Plague was January, February, when you show up to class one day and half the students are gone. Students, professors, faculty, everyone just starts dropping off, and it's just that seasonal change in California where it goes from warm to cool and people get sick. I'm sure I've had many bouts of Poly Plague.
Now you're officially ready to talk like a local, and you're already one step ahead to becoming one. Don't be afraid to start using this lingo throughout the rest of your time here at Open House.
Yes, and speaking of SLO lingo, we have a reporter. We have Chloe down at the rec right now at the club showcase. Chloe, how are we doing?
Thank you guys. We are doing really good. Right now I'm here with Jacob. He is the president of the Juggling Club and the vice president of the Unicycle Club. Jacob, tell me about unicycling here at Cal Poly. What is the significance of it?
Yeah, we have the largest collegiate unicycle club in the world as far as we know. We've searched. And we teach everyone here. I'm one of the few people that learned before Cal Poly, but most people in our club learn here. We teach, we provide unicycles, and we have no club dues.
Wow, that's really impressive. How long have you been unicycling here?
I've been unicycling for about 5 years. I could barely ride beforehand, and I came here and actually got really good. Most people in our club learned at Cal Poly.
How many people would you say are in the unicycle club? Just a rough estimate.
It's hard to say because it's a low commitment club. You just show up whenever. But last year we took a team picture with about 32 people.
Wow, that's impressive. Do you mind showing me a little bit about what this looks like? I understand that the Juggling Club and the Unicycle Club are kind of adjacent, and we got a little bit of that going on in the background. Yeah. But go ahead and show me your best trick, whatever you got.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah. So how long did that take to learn?
That wheel walk one, which I didn't do in a very large space, took me a long time. As long as it took me to unicycle, we estimate about 10 hours of actual riding to learn, but yeah.
Wow, okay. I have to admit, I would really love to try this. Do you think it would be possible for me to go ahead and hop on and just see what we could do with it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's try it, guys. Whew. All right.
All right. Here, you can put the saddle under you. You can rotate this.
Okay.
You use me as support.
I'm really nervous.
You got it. Put your weight in that pedal.
All right, here we go.
Step up. Nice.
Oh my gosh.
There you go. You're up. You're going.
Woo. I'm gonna fall on live TV.
Don't be
Please
afraid
no.
to drop the unicycle if you need.
Woo.
Nice.
Wow.
Good job.
That was thrilling. Thank you. And then juggling too. Do you think you could show me a little bit about that too? I'd love to see that. I'm not sure I can do that one though.
We got all kinds of juggling. We got all kinds of juggling props, clubs, poi. We do flow arts too.
Oh. Okay.
Yep.
Wow. There we go. Jacob, everybody. Wow.
There we go.
Can you tell me about like just the importance of having clubs on campus and like just the student involvement here at Cal Poly?
Yeah. It's so nice just for the social groups, you know, because there's people that go out for the frats, there's people that go out for whatever, but it's so nice to find a group and stuff you're interested in and the types of people that you can find in them.
Would you say that you found like some of your closest friends in the unicycle club?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's so great. I'm kind of considering joining it. I was kind of surprised that I even got up on that.
You did pretty good.
I can't lie, I practiced a little bit beforehand for viewers at home. Probably won't be able to do that one. Are you able to do that tall one right over there?
Yeah, it took me some while. It's actually technically easier than riding a 20-inch or regular one, as long as you get over the mental aspect of being up high.
Gotcha. And then over here we got some of our juggling stuff. I'd love to know, are these swords?
Yeah, these are juggling knives right here. They make a nice shink.
Oh,
you can juggle
them. Okay, I'm gonna stand back. Wow. I'm gonna look out for that one.
And they're not actually sharp. I can handle the blade. But
Yeah.
they will still hurt if you get smacked with them.
I believe that. Wow. Okay. And then are you able to juggle and unicycle at the same time?
I can, yeah.
Okay. I would love to see this one.
I normally like to keep my personas apart from each other, but sometimes it calls for it. And my helmet got in the way there. Thank you.
All right, let's see it. You got it, Jacob. Wow. Jacob, everybody. Thank you guys for coming out here with us. The Juggling and Unicycle Club, definitely a cool one here at Cal Poly's campus. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Chloe. Seeing that, I'm like low-key getting FOMO. So everybody out there, have fun for me. But go check out the club showcase from 11 to 2 at the Rec Center.
Yeah, something else that we have going on this week that's really exciting is Poly Royal, which is our Cal Poly Rodeo team's home rodeo. And I actually just found out that it's the largest college rodeo in the whole country.
Oh my God.
Yes.
That's so cool.
It's the biggest college rodeo event. It has over 13,000 attendees over the span of 3 days. Which is so awesome. And I don't know if you remember, but last year, they weren't doing it in Spano Stadium. They were doing it at the Cotton Rosa Rodeo Complex on campus. And so they had to reduce that number. They were down to 3,000 attendees. And I don't know if you remember, but it was really difficult to get a rodeo ticket last year.
Oh no, I remember seeing like all over social media, like, and in the different like Discord channels or like Slack channels, people asking, does anybody have a rodeo ticket? People were like selling them. They sold out in like minutes. It was crazy.
30 seconds.
30 seconds, sorry, not minutes. But now it's in Spano Stadium, right? That's insane. And there's a lot more. Like, there's more people. I remember last year, I've never been to the rodeo, like, personally, but I've been there physically because I worked at the rodeo, like, in the concession stands. And, like, seeing everybody and, like, hearing it while not looking at it is so cool because I don't know what they're doing, but I see pictures and I'm like, that's so interesting that that's their weekend.
Yeah, it's insane. And this year, it's an even bigger production than it was last year. This year, they included not just the Cal Poly rodeo athletes, but they actually on Thursday night had a world champion bullfighter, professional bullfighter down there.
Oh my God.
It was the most insane thing. It was literally him in the arena and like doing flips over a bull that was charging at him. So Cal Poly Rodeo is so awesome, and they are so big and have expanded to even include the world champion professional bullfighter to come down to Poly Royal.
I love that. I know also like there's a tradition because we also have the hobby horsing competition on campus. The winners of that happens like earlier on in the year, they come to the rodeo and they get to perform, which is always one of my favorite aspects because I think it's so fun and so silly to like add it into the rodeo.
So fun. And then also another thing that they added this year is they had BMX riders there.
BMX?
BMX. So they had huge ramps that were, I wouldn't know the number, but just towering way over your head. And these guys are on their bikes and they're going full speed and also doing like backflips, front flips on the bikes and landing. So it's a rodeo, but it is so much bigger and a bigger production than just rodeo.
Are the BMX people like Cal Poly students, or is it like a separate thing like the world-renowned bullfighter or bull dude?
You know, that's a really great question. They were young, so they very well could be, but I'm not too sure about that.
Should we get in, maybe next year Mustang News goes to the rodeo and we get on a BMX bike?
Stay tuned. We'll have a story coming out soon. While Poly Royal has provided some fun for us this week, something that I had just found out is that many Cal Poly Rodeo athletes actually come from families of Cal Poly Rodeo, like
so sweet.
Family members. For 11 members on the team, they have had family members that have also participated in Cal Poly Rodeo. So I had the chance to sit down and talk with about 4 of them about how their family members' like previous experience with Cal Poly Rodeo influenced their decision to come to Cal Poly and be on the Cal Poly Rodeo team.
I've done rodeo longer than I can remember, since I was like 2 or 3.
I've rodeoed my whole life, kind of grew up into it, so as soon as I could walk or get on a horse, that's when it started.
For many Cal Poly Rodeo athletes, this isn't just a sport. It's a way of life passed down from one generation to the next.
My dad, along with my aunt, competed here back in like the 80s.
My dad and my uncle were both on the team, and my mom was on the livestock judging team here.
My mom and my sister were Cal Poly Rodeo members before me.
I've had a couple cousins that competed here at Cal Poly Rodeo, and then my dad went to Cal Poly. I've had numerous of aunts and uncles, family members. I couldn't count how many have been here, but there's been a lot of us.
For these athletes, the dream of competing for Cal Poly Rodeo started long before they ever stepped on campus.
I mean, it's been one of my goals since my dad's been telling me stories my whole life. I mean, I've always wanted to come here, and now I'm here.
So it's been real fun to continue that legacy and come here. It's where I wanted to go since I was a kid, mainly because they all did, and I thought that'd be a super cool opportunity.
My mom always raved about it. She loved it so much. She comes back every year and does the alumni team roping for Poly Royal, and I was lucky enough to have a year with my sister here before she graduated.
My dad won a national title in the team roping for Cal Poly in '84. He said that he majored in rodeo, so it was a heavily emphasis on the rodeoing part rather than school.
For Lewis, one moment made her family's legacy feel real.
It was my sister's senior year.
Ashley Lewis for Cal Poly, turn it up.
We were both up in the perf in Kalinga in the same event, and they were talking about, the 2 Lewis sisters that are here, and we happen to be good friends with the announcer, so they were actually talking about my mom being on the rodeo team also. And they said something like 3 Lewis girls, so that was kind of cool. It felt like a tradition almost.
While the team continues to grow, the next generation is ready to carry it forward.
Just like my dad did for me, give us an opportunity to come here and to rodeo, and I feel like I want to do the same for my kids and give them my stories and experiences here and let them know it's a great place.
For Mustang News, I'm Sedona Harris.
There are still a few VIP tickets available on the Cal Poly Athletics website tonight if you're interested in seeing the Poly Royal finale.
Yes, and we just saw a little bit about the rodeo, and that's like one of the things that a lot of people are really excited about when they do come to like tour Cal Poly and all of that. So I wanted to ask you, what's your favorite local thing about SLO?
Oh my goodness, that's such a great question. I love this area so much. I love the small town feel. It really does feel like it's such a tight-knit community, and like even though we're Cal Poly students, we still feel accustomed to the community, and that everybody genuinely like looks out for each other, and it's like a family in a way. Like it just has that small town feel. And I also love just how beautiful this area is, and there's so many gorgeous hiking trails like within walking distance from campus even. They are just, there's so much to explore, and also you can't beat the fact that you're so close to the beach. Avila Beach is like that is my happy place. I will be there. If I'm not in studio, if I'm not in class, like I will be at Avila Beach. You know where to find me.
Yes, no, literally last year, winter quarter, I got out of class at like 1 p.m. almost every single day. And like some of my friends were like, every time I check your location at like around like lunchtime, they're like, you're always at the beach. And it was true, because anytime, like my mom even told me, she was like, you're always like at the beach. And I would send her so many like selfies and be like, this is my Tuesday afternoon. And I'm just sitting in front of the ocean. Like I would bring my computer, and like there's like little cafes too in like Avila. There's one that's like literally right across the beach, which I would like sit in and I would do homework in there, and then after I'd be like, you know, as a little treat, I get to go sit on the sand and be a bit serene for a little bit.
No, exactly. Like it's the perfect study spot. Like you go, you grind out a little bit of that homework you got to do, and then you get to just walk right over to the sand, lay, tan, and then jump in the water and get like that refresh.
Yes, I know there's sea lions too. Occasionally there's otters, but I don't think that they don't really like to come too close to the shore. Last summer when I stayed in SLO for the summer, and every time I went to the beach there was always this one like sea lion that would hang out by the pier. And I was joking with my mom the other day. I was like, I think that sea lion and I really just bonded, because every time I was there, the sea lion was there, and we really connected. I gave her a name, but I don't remember it anymore because I haven't seen her in forever. Every time I go, I'm like, she's not there. She broke up with me. She doesn't want to see me anymore. I don't know what I did. Like, she ghosted me. I don't know.
She moved on.
She did. She moved on. But, you know, speaking of things that you can do at Cal Poly, like, do you know what's really fun to do at the beach?
What?
It's scuba diving. And do you know what you can do here, because we are such an awesome school who does learn by doing things?
What?
Learn how to do scuba diving. One of our reporters, actually, Rocco Brickler, he went to the scuba diving like certification class, and we should take a look at that right now.
If you see bubbles rising from the bottom of the Cal Poly Rec pool, don't panic. Some students are diving into their scuba certification course, and it starts right here.
That was kind of fun. They were all like looking down at us, and they're like, what are you guys all doing down there? And we're just swimming along the bottom. I kind of felt like a pro.
For years, ASI Aquatics has teamed up with a local dive shop to help Cal Poly students on the path to scuba certification. From the classroom to the open water.
They've got to do their pre-qualification, learn to dive here in the pool. Once they've learned to dive in the pool, then they've earned the right to go ahead and go to the ocean and show us the skills that they learned.
After an introduction to their equipment on the pool deck, students are fitted with their gear and head to the shallow end to learn basic skills and safety measures. Then it's off to the deep end for more intense exercises.
My least favorite part is when they turned off my air. I did not enjoy that. And then they make you actually have your air off until this is at 0. So you like actually can't breathe and you're gasping for air. And then you have to signal, turn on my air, and then it was chill, then you can breathe again.
For all of these participants, certification is the goal. But the reason why they want to dive is different. Some for their career.
It opens so many possibilities. I can go to like tropical destinations and go scuba diving there, doing underwater research, and then also help me further my biology career in the future.
And others to face a fear.
I'm actually scared of the ocean, but which is another reason why I wanted to do this, because I feel like it'll help me get over my fear, being able to like see what's underneath.
But they're all in it together.
It's just more fun. You have people to like laugh with and like, you know, make sure that you're doing it right. You don't feel as alone. So it's good to have a group to do it with.
Reporting for Mustang News TV, I'm Rocco Brickler.
Thank you, Rocco.
Scuba certification is just a taste of what our student body government ASI offers. Here with us in the studio is Mark Cavaliza. Hi, Mark. Thanks for being with us
Thank you for joining us.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me today.
Our first question for you is, like, for those who don't know, what is ASI and what role does it play here at Cal Poly?
Yeah, so ASI is an organization here on campus that our mission is really to provide students with the ultimate college experience. So every student that comes here to Cal Poly pays a fee, and our student government overall in ASI, we manage that fee to put on events, run the University Union, the Rec Center, and more importantly, give resources for our students that hopefully they can succeed. Our main mission here within ASI is making sure that there's fun and engaging events that our students can participate in, whether it's a comedian like Trevor Wallace or Sal from Impractical Jokers coming in, maybe it's the Mustang Mile that we host, or even just a multitude of concerts and intramurals that we host. So really what I tell parents of what ASI is think of us as an organization that is here to support your student, give them a place to enjoy, kind of get outside of studying and being in classes, and overall meet new people and have fun.
Yeah, that 25 to 35 hour grind is not not fun. So I'm very thankful for you guys for having events for our students.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, kind of on a similar note, how does ASI shape the student experience here?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the way ASI really shapes the student's experience is two things. One, because we manage a multi-million-dollar budget, what we get to do is oversee the events and really make sure that the events that we host are actually ones that students will enjoy. So over the last couple years, some of the things that ASI has done is one, like goat yoga has been so popular for our students, but even, I'm sure you guys will laugh at this, hobby horse has been one of the staple ASI events in the last couple years. And for us, that really came down to what did students think was going to be a place and event for them to hang out in. And for us, we're really focused on how to make sure that that actually happens. On top of that as well, within student government, there's things that we care about, and that's making sure that students feel seen and supported here. So what can that look like for us? A big portion is civic engagement. So getting students registered to vote for statewide, countywide, federal elections, making sure that we host events during Mental Health Awareness Month. We do It's On Us and Buck the Stigma. And on top of the events that we do, and I think a bigger piece of how we shape the student experience really comes down to the advocacy that we do. ASI Student Government meets with so many higher administration, and what we really push for is that if there's policies that are changing, such as quarter semesters and year rounds, how can we have students in the room so that this is a student-driven decision? And at the end of the day, every policy, every change that we make here at Cal Poly has a positive impact for our students, and really the driver of that is ASI and the student government. So I would say that's how we help shape kind of the student experience here on campus.
Yeah, and you kind of, in the beginning, like you kind of went into it, but I'm curious, like what are the, I guess, the biggest or most popular events that students can look forward to if they decide to come here?
Yeah, there's a lot, I would say. I think a big one, I talked about this with actually a couple of parents and students, is intramurals is I think just like a steady event that people can participate in. So students who love playing sports and maybe want to try a new sport but not super competitively, or they want to compete competitively, intramurals is a place for them to do that with their friends, maybe with their high school old teammates. And intramurals is really a place where students who are athletes can just go and have fun and just try a new sport. I mean, for us, we always get constantly about 6,000 students, about 6,000 or 7,000 students participating in intramurals every quarter. Some of the more popular events, like I said, is hobby horse. If people who are listening don't know what a hobby horse is, you have a stick figure horse that you run around and you either dance with it or you compete in a relay, which has been super popular the last couple years. Mustang Mile is a great one. That one is really hosted to share awareness on alcohol overdose and how to make sure that our students are being safe when they're participating in that, and that's in remembrance to Carson Starkey. So Mustang Mile is one that's really meaningful for us, and we're really happy that students always participate in. And I would say those are kind of our big events. Last year we did ASI Snow Day, which if people don't know, we brought snow in the University Union so people could sled. We might have ran into students were sledding past the snow and actually into the concrete, so we kind of held back on that, but there'll be more to come, and hopefully one of those will be tailgating in the future.
Yeah, I remember the snow day. One of our reporters, RJ Pollock, actually, he did a story on that, and I remember he filmed a stand-up of him going down the snow hill, and it was epic.
Oh yeah, no, you said it was epic for you guys, but the cleanup afterwards, they gave me the shovel and they said, get to work, and I said, yes sir, and we were there for a while, but we're happy that one students really loved and enjoyed, so.
Yeah, I remember seeing all the water that was in the UU afterwards, and like people asking, oh, did it rain? And I was like, no, we just had snow.
Yeah.
Ever so briefly.
Kind of on a similar note as well, like how does ASI decide what events and things to bring to campus?
Yeah. So there's kind of two different divisions that kind of put on events for our students. Like I said, we, as a multi-million-dollar organization, we have different groups within ASI that handle different things. Two of the ones that really put on events is ASI Student Government and in our ASI Events team. So think of our ASI Student Government, they're kind of more volunteer-based, they're elected by our students, and the way those events work is it goes back to what do students want? How can we engage them in ASI elections? How we engage them in local and statewide elections? How can we also provide resources for them? So and just overall fun. So for example, a good one is within ASI Student Government, we put on Pickle Fest, which is an annual pickleball competition that we've really seen people really enjoy. And civic engagement, so our voter registration booths and our drives. And then the ASI events piece, what they really do is they kind of host the bigger and better events that we have. So our comedians that we put on, the concerts, the goat yoga, the trivia. So ASI Student Government kind of hosts a little bit more of the smaller, more targeted outreach events. And then ASI events, and they're really the backbone of a lot of our big events. They're the ones who do the ones that 3,000 students can participate in. So those are kind of the ways that we put on events for students.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I remember you talked about Pickle Fest. I covered that story last year for Mustang News. It was so fun. I didn't expect you guys to have actual pickles at the thing. They were really good. I don't really like pickles, but that one was absolutely fire. And I still have the little sticker on my water bottle because it's really cute. But kind of going into for the students who are coming, how can they get involved with ASI or other student organizations?
Yeah. I always tell students when you first come here, during WOW, during Slow Days, go talk to as many current Cal Poly students as you can. With over 400 plus organizations, I emphasize that there's a place for everyone to be involved, whether that's ASI Student Government, whether that's Mustang News, whether maybe that's a cultural club or a sport club. So I say, one, go get involved by going to the WOW Club Showcase, talking to as many current Cal Poly students that you see at Slow Days. And then secondly, for student government, if people search up ASI Student Government Executive Staff, that's kind of our entry-level program for our first years and transfer students who are trying to get involved in student government. There's a sign-up sheet on there for kind of a newsletter, and if students sign up and want to participate, they can get those weekly newsletters about some of the stuff that we're doing in student government and how can they get involved. And then more importantly, come find us at Club Showcase, come find us in the rec center today, and if all comes to worse, if you don't ever see us, DM ASI President at ASI President on Instagram, and whoever that is, maybe it's me, maybe it's next year's president, they can answer questions for our students.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for your time. I know you're a very busy man, so I really do appreciate you coming to talk to us.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me, and good luck for the rest of the day, and hopefully our Mustangs, our future Mustangs, will be involved in two of the greatest organizations here at Cal Poly, ASI and Mustang News.
Aww.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys.
A couple other things that ASI offers for us as students is they have group fitness classes at the rec.
Yes.
Have you ever participated in any of the group fitness classes?
When I was a first year, I didn't have a whole lot to do, so I went to a Pilates class. I went once, and then I didn't go again because I'm not very good at Pilates, I've discovered. But then I took a spin class, and I didn't know what a spin class actually was until I took it, but that was the hardest class I've ever had. The next day, I literally was getting out of my bed in my dorm, and I was like, everything hurts. I don't want to do this anymore. I didn't go back, but I know, our digital manager, Layla loves going to spin, and occasionally she'll be like, do you want to come with me? And I'll be like, love you so much, girl, but no.
No, it is so awesome. Those instructors, they're hardcore. They're gonna push you, and they're gonna kick your butt a little bit, but there's so many different group fitness opportunities. They have Pilates, they have spin, they have breakaway, they have body pump, and so they even have martial arts. They have everything.
That's really cool.
There's definitely so many different ways to get active. Another thing that ASI has is all of the arts and crafts classes that students can take.
Have you ever taken one?
I have not, but let me tell you, I walk past that craft center and I see the people in the surfboard making class.
Yeah.
That one has my name written all over it. I'm ready to go in there and design my own surfboard.
Yes, before you leave, you should definitely work. That's your souvenir from Cal Poly, other than
My
the
own
cap in the ground.
surfboard.
Your own personal surfboard.
That's perfect. Well, the ASI office is actually located in the UU, and you know what else is in the UU?
What's in the UU?
The 1901 Marketplace, with a lot of our on-campus dining venues. One of our reporters, Dylan White, is here to let you know the best places you can eat on campus.
Cal Poly has a vast variety of dining options and meal plans for you to choose from, and properly allocating your dining dollars is crucial to enhancing your university experience. Many students ask, what dining plan is right for me? And furthermore, how many dining dollars should I spend in a day? Well, for example, the Mustang 150 plan, which gives you $150 dining dollars per week, for a total of $2,250 per quarter, recommends that you spend about 21 dining dollars a day. Now that you have your dining dollars properly allocated, there are many options on our campus for you to choose where to eat.
The Starbucks in the University Union offers a selection of coffee and pastries. Chick-fil-A serves its signature chicken sandwiches, nuggets, and waffle fries, making it an option for students who crave a quick meal. Shake Smart, located right next to the Cal Poly's Recreation Center, provides smoothies and snacks for students who want to pick-me-up. Panda Express, also located in the recently renovated 1901 dining facility, serves orange chicken, chow mein, and egg rolls. Vista Grande is a multi-venue dining facility with options including Balance Cafe, Hearth, Brunch, Streets, Mingle and Nosh, Market at Grand Avenue, Sweets, and Noodles. Each offering specialized menus ranging from plant-based bowls to fresh pizzas. Scout's Coffee, a popular spot among the students of Yakatutu, offers craft coffee and fresh baked goods in a local small batch atmosphere. The Market at Grand Avenue functions as an on-campus mini grocery store, stocked with snacks, meal prep items, and a variety of daily essentials. Jamba is located inside the Market at Grand Avenue, serving smoothies, bowls, and juices to keep students refreshed throughout the day. Subway offers build-your-own sandwiches for students, and there's another location in Poly Canyon Village for added convenience. Campus Market stocks groceries, hot food, and exclusive Cal Poly products, including dairy and meat from student-run operations. The University Union Market features a variety of grab-and-go options, from frozen meals to packaged snacks, all in the heart of campus.
For Mustang News, I'm Dylan White.
And that is just a taste of all of the options campus dining has to offer. Here to tell us a little bit more about our dining options on campus is Chris Dunham and Jess Dozier.
Thank you guys so much for being here. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Good morning. Yeah, thanks for having us.
For people visiting campus today, what can they expect from dining here at Cal Poly?
Well, I think a big part of open house is we want to show how the operation runs when they're going to be here, right? So, we definitely want to showcase what we do, but we also want to make sure that they understand how dining works. So we're doing a lot of tabling, a lot of events. Folks have a lot of questions, right? And it's a pretty, it's such a big operation. It can be very intimidating for students who come here. So we're trying to really make sure we give them that information so that when they do come here, that they're a little, less stressed and they understand how the program works, or at least prepares them for slow days when we're going to show them more. So it's really about representing what we do on a regular daily basis for students that, are here every day.
Awesome. And how has campus dining evolved in recent years?
I think just the transformation of our physical facilities, Vista Grande came online 6 years ago, and, 1901, came under a full remodel a couple years back. So it's just really growing with the campus and having the facilities that are up to date to do what our team's capable of doing, because you have to have great facilities to produce the volumes we do and the quality that we expect from our teams. So I think that's one of the fundamental things is just, we had some catching up to do as a department, right? And so, and we're just poised for the growth that's coming to campus, and we're excited about that. And we have amazing facilities, and we can just do such a larger, offer food and a more diverse selection of food across campus, just because we've got the ability and the facilities to do it.
Yeah, I remember my first year when 1901 opened being really excited about all the different campus dining options. So I'm kind of curious, since there are so many different options, how would you describe the variety available to students?
You know, we kind of joke about variety a little bit just because, you know, what's the definition of variety? It's what I want when I want it now. So, you know, we have such a large group of folks here, you know, between, you know, students, you know, 22,500+ faculty, staff. So, you know, we really have to, we view ourselves, you know, we talk to students a lot, we get a ton of data from them. You know, we ask for their preferences, but we really have to be able to do a little bit of everything for everyone. So we're just trying to really make sure that we have, you know, that's why we do a lot of surveying. We're asking what are your favorite cuisines, and we're trying to make sure that we have all those things covered, but they have to be authentic. You know, they have to be done, really the right way. You know, we don't want to have kind of watered down versions of anything. So, you know, I think it's an ongoing and it's always evolving. That's why you see a couple new venues every year or things changing and maybe a venue swapping out. It's because we're constantly getting feedback and we're trying to stay, you know, obviously on trend with what, you know, the next group of, you know, the next generation, next group of students that are coming on board, because they may have different preferences, right?
Yeah, and then, Mr. Dunham, I noticed you're wearing a chef, like a little chef smock. I think I've seen you definitely around 1901, and this kind of goes into it, but like, everybody has different dietary needs, so and I'm assuming you do a lot of the cooking and stuff. So how do you make sure that there's something for everybody with dietary needs or just like personal preferences?
It's a lot, like Jess said, you know, a lot of surveying. Caitlin Gibbons is our dietitian here on campus, so she works with all our dietary needs students and allergen students here on campus, and just get information, right, you know, how to make it very balanced for everybody, right? We have a lot of different groups of students here on our campus that have different needs, dietary needs, so we're always just working with them, trying to make sure we're able to offer the gluten-free options, making sure we have the right signage around campus so those can go around that have certain needs that can go to our menus and look at and eat in our venues very safely. It's just really just making sure we're working with the students and making sure we're looking what they're looking forward to eat, and that we can help, you know, provide that for them.
Yeah, I have a lot of food allergies, and I remember my very first time eating in VG's was at Balance, and I was like eating breakfast, and I remember seeing on the menu that like the pancakes were vegan and like it had and gluten free, and I remember asking the worker like, okay, well, what's in it? Because normally when there are vegan options, it means that they substitute it with like a nut or of some sort, and I remember him telling me like, oh no, it's tapioca starch or whatever. Do you want to look at the label just to make sure? And I felt so understood and so like safe because I was like, nobody's ever really done that, and so I was like, I love Balance so much.
Yeah, Balance is our starship venue here on campus, honestly, just because of the special dietary needs and that. And we're able to get that information for the students that can go and make sure the top 9 allergens are free from that venue, and you have a safe meal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so clear that you guys put so much effort and time into all of the dishes that you guys prepare. Do you guys have a favorite dish that you're especially proud of that you want students to try?
Our menus are always changing, and I was looking at that question. I was like, well, what's on here? Right now, what students said what's fire right now is our tamale offerings at Streets right now. We have a Latin flair going on. And then we're getting really positive feedback for Poly Choice Menu. We're doing po' boys and like a Cajun theme on it. So we have some hush puppies, which is one of my favorite snacks, and we have fried okra, shrimp po' boys and all that, so that station's really been well received. But most of our menus, you know, really, you know, we're always trying to make sure that we're staying with some trends, being innovative, right? You know, Campus Dining got the 2025 Innovative Award at NACUFs. So, you know, we want to make sure we're always pushing the needle, making sure we're bringing fun, fair foods in, working with, you know, our chefs and our dietitian, and making sure we're putting these fun, delicious menus out every time we change a menu.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point to bring up, is that our menus are always changing. Like, you're not going to be stuck with the same menus to choose from every single day.
Well, you know, if you think about the number of days that students are here, you know, I mean, like, it's, you know, it's 250 plus, right? So we recognize that, and we have 45 plus venues, but we know that as a student, you know, you're not going to go to all 45. You're going to have maybe 10 or, you know, 8 that you go to. So we just have to have the rotation. And one of the biggest complaints that as we increase the frequency of changing menus, and one of the kind of pushback we got was, wow, you just took away something I really loved. And so what we did at the end of the year, we actually bring back all the favorites, and we run the favorites from the entire year, the last few weeks of school, because, you know, we sort of get both sides, like, we want you to change menus a lot, and they're like, we don't want you to take this stuff away. So, you know, it's sort of like trying to meet in the middle. And Poly Choice is a really good example. That was Poly Deli last year, and honestly, it was an underperforming venue. You know, we went from like, hey, we need more sandwiches, and then like, oh, next year's like, oh, okay, that's not actually what, because students, you know, they get to choose where they eat. And the feedback we got was, we would love to see these few things. Now, the reality is we can't build 6 separate, you know, a poke venue and a mac and cheese venue and a baked potato bar venue like that, you know, wouldn't necessarily maybe, you know, make the greatest sense, right? But to put it on a 6-week rotation, it's been really well, and that was directly from student feedback. Like that really came from our discussions with students and going, well, what if we did this? And they're like, oh, that'd be great. And it's been very, you know, it's been well received, and that's our goal, right? Is to communicate with students, find out, and then see if we can, you know, find a, you know, because we want to make sure we keep value in the program too. We can't, you know, we would love to do everything and, you know, have a place be open 24/7, but that's not the reality, right, of what we can do. So we're always trying to find that middle ground. That, you know, meets in the middle, or, you know, and so it's been a big win for us, and, you know, we're excited now. We're just thinking, what's the next concepts that we're going to put in there? That's what Chef and his team is tasked with.
Can we get like a sneak peek or like a little bit of a tease of what might be on the horizon?
I don't think we have anything major changing this coming up fall, but we're just having that conversation. I think this is our first summer really going in, not having a new venue that we're opening or a new concept that we're really opening right now.
One area that we're definitely expanding in is campus market. So we know students are going down to California Fresh, and you know, so we're actually going to add a hot food bar in addition to expanding the salad bar, and it'll be you choose what you want. You know, you pay by the weight, which is, you know, then that way they're choosing how much they're paying. So it's not just us dictating the cost, but we're excited about that. And I think, you know, we always make small changes. We don't have any, like, you know, last year we had Julian's come online. We had Sequel Tea. I think you'll see more next year. We're continuing to expand hours. And we're just trying to round, you know, menus out and expand, you know, just based on preference.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how important is food in shaping the student experience here at Cal Poly?
You know, I mean, we know that, so we're tasked with, and, you know, we tell this to our teams a lot, and, you know, it sounds kind of corny, but we say, you're not here to feed people. That's a part, you're here to contribute to student success through dining. And it sounds kind of cheesy and corny, but we take it really seriously, right? Like, we're here to be part of the university and have a place that you can gather, that you can meet your friends, that you feel safe in, that you can study in. And, you know, we know that students, and they spend probably more time in our facilities than they do anywhere, right, except for maybe their dorm room, right, or where they're living. So I think we take it really seriously that, you know, we know that it's like a third space for students to hang out and dining, meet their friends. And so it's just important that our teams, you know, I think, and most of our workforce is students. You know, we have close to 900 students working for us at any given time. And you know, we tell them that very clearly, like, hey, you're feeding your peers, but you're also here to help your peers. You know, so that's, I mean, we take it seriously, and that's, I just think that it's more, for us, it's more than just about feeding people. You know, we just
being part of the community.
Yeah, and we want to be a little bit, we want to be fun, but we also want to be invisible. Like, to the, you know, we don't want to, you know, what Chris talked about, food safety. #1 priority. I mean, we feed 25,000 plus people on campus a day. And you don't do that by winging it without a lot of process and things. So I always tell students when I talk to them, I'm like, you want to have a discussion about what you like and don't like? I'm all for it. You want to talk about food safety? Hopefully that topic, you know, it's our role for you not to worry about that. So, you know, it's our role to take it very seriously. At the end of the day, that's, you know, we have to be able to feel really confident in what we do. Because, you know, it's a big operation and we don't want to make mistakes.
Yeah, I get that. Food safety is very, very important.
Yes. Well, you know, to what your experience was, I mean, that's, you have to know that in balance, that there is absolutely no risk that you're going to get food that's been, you know, commingled with allergens, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. And while there are so many options to eat on campus, we also have so many great dining options that are available in the San Luis Obispo community. Our reporter Roman Noravian is here to help you find the best dining options within walking distance from campus.
Well, there are plenty of places to eat at on Cal Poly's campus. You can only eat meals at 1901 Kitchen and Vista Grande so many times. In this video, we'll be going over some restaurants that are within walking distance from campus that you can eat at whenever you feel like you'd like a change of pace from on-campus dining. If you're looking for something that's a bit different than the offerings on campus, you can check out Ziggy's, which is a plant-based and vegan restaurant located in a shopping center off California. It's about an 18-minute walk from campus.
Although the restaurant is primarily takeout focused, the few tables inside and outside make for a cozy dining experience. Ziggy's specializes in plant-based burgers, tacos, fries, and shakes, and popular items on the menu include a crunch wrap with ground griddled impossible meat and a California burrito with impossible steak. Other options worth checking out include the Impossible Buffalo Chicken Sandwich
That tastes exactly like a normal chicken sandwich.
and the Dirty Fries, which are covered with vegan cheese, sauteed onions, and a vegan Thousand Island sauce. Ziggy's is open from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. If you're open to going a bit further from campus and happen to be in the mood for a sweet treat, look no further than Slowdoko on Foothill.
This spot is very popular among students because it is open 24 hours.
This attribute makes Slowdoko a solid option for a late-night sweet treat run, and a great study spot during midterms and finals week as well, seeing as donuts tend to be a good source of encouragement. Speaking of, the donut menu ranges from your classic raised donuts, to chocolate-filled pillows, to more unique offerings such as a Dubai chocolate donut. They have something for everybody.
Another option that's right next to Slowdoko is Press Quesadilla Grill, which is about a 24-minute walk from campus.
As the name would suggest, Press Quesadilla Grill specializes in quesadillas, and they make them well. After going down the assembly line and picking proteins, toppings, and sauces, each quesadilla is pressed and comes in a box that's around the size of a laptop and can easily be shared or saved for another meal. They also have burrito bowls that are just as sizable as the quesadillas, which mean you can avoid making the miles-long trek to Chipotle for an often half-filled bowl. One thing that's worth noting is that they don't have guacamole on the menu. However, they make up for this by having a number of different sauces, such as a Chipotle sauce and an avocado crema. Press Quesadilla Grill is open from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. For Mustang News, I'm Roman Narabian.
We're so lucky to have so many great dining options here in San Luis Obispo and such a range of cuisines to choose from. Lauren, do you have a favorite place in SLO to eat?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I don't go out very often because I'm a little bit of a homebody when it comes to eating, but I think I took my parents to this one place. It's called, it's the SLO, I think, or maybe that's the Living Quarter. I don't actually know. Oh, it's the Switch. Okay. That's the one. I got the two S words mixed up. But I really like that place because they switch their menu every 2 to 3 months. So it's kind of different every now and then. And the chef is really, really good at cooking. Do you have a favorite one?
Dude, Roman hit it right on the money with Press Quesadilla. That is my spot. They actually know me by name in there. Every time I go in, they're like, oh, good to see you again. And there was one time, it was when we were at winter break. I came back from winter break, and of course I ended there on the first night because I didn't have groceries in my house just yet. And he was like, I haven't seen you in a minute. And I was like, oh, this is a problem. I was gone for 2 weeks and he noticed.
Do they have your order ready for you when you come in?
Pretty much, yes. They know exactly. I always get the chicken bowl, and and it is just so delicious, and it's with the fajita veggies, it's perfect. There's also so many great local produce and food options at the downtown farmers market.
Yes, I do love that one. I've been a couple times, but it's a very iconic place for the foodies because they also have a lot of stalls that do have food. Our reporter RJ Pollock is here with a closer look at the market.
Hi there, future Mustangs. My name is RJ Pollock, and welcome to Farmers Market. Here in beautiful downtown San Luis Obispo, every Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m., our wonderful city throws on the Farmers Market. So join me today and learn what it's all about.
From food to live music, there's no shortage of events at Farmers Market to go see and do. So let's talk to some community members and students to see what they think about farmers.
It's pretty amazing. Honestly, there's so much good energy and a lot of people. The smells are immaculate, and I can't wait to try some food.
It's a must. You have to do it. It's the place to be.
I really think farmers is really important because it's it combines school culture and town culture, and it's just a thing that happens every week, a tradition.
I really think farmers is a really good way to connect with not only students but people just around town. It's a way of getting off campus and just being able to enjoy and relax in SLO as well.
Oh,
Oh, it's awesome. The turnout's amazing. Me and my family usually come out here for vacation, and we always come to the farmers market.
Love like fresh food, good time to get dinner and have fun.
Yeah, just a really good vibe with your friends. It's fun to dress up and go out. And coming to this last year was like, it kind of set the scene for us. So.
Honestly, the first time I came, I had no idea. We've had a farmers market at my old town, but nothing compares to this. It's a lot of people, a lot of tents, a lot of things to do. It's really what you make of it, though. It's already embedded itself in the culture here, and yeah, it's a pretty sweet thing to do every Thursday.
Probably the weather when it's like the sundown, it's not like rainy or anything, that's the best. Like if it's like the sun's going down and there's a lot of people around the lights and stuff, the atmosphere is great.
I love it. I love it here. I think it's a great environment, and I love farmers. I'm an animal science major myself, so I've been surrounded by farmers. I raise livestock and like sell it, so I love farmers. I love what they do, and I love this market. It's so cool. The community's great here.
Portions here are usually pretty big, and honestly, if you go to places that don't have a very long line, they'll still be amazing. Good food all around.
Farmers is definitely the largest weekly event that you do not want to miss out on. From fresh produce to amazing food to music and live events and performers, it is definitely the place to be.
So as you can see, Farmers is truly the thing here to do on a Thursday night. The hustle and bustle, the food, the atmosphere, the people, the music, truly is an experience that you can't pass up. So if you're considering Cal Poly, come check out Farmers Market. Reporting for Mustang News, I'm RJ Pollock.
Yes, so farmers market is the thing that you do on the Thursday night, from hanging out with your friends, just going for the food. But another outdoor activity that's very, very fun and it's very popular on the Central Coast is hiking. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier on in our show, but SLO has such beautiful hiking trails. We had a group of our reporters out to those trails to explore.
Known for its green hills, rich agriculture, and coastal views, San Luis Obispo has no shortage of nature. When it comes to being outside, hiking is a popular hobby amongst residents of all ages. If you're up for a steep but shorter climb, Sycamore Crest Trail promises an ocean view with tree-lined paths. Sitting right above Avila Beach, the intermediate road offers a wide view of the horizon after a hike of just 3/4 of a mile to reach the summit.
We're at Sycamore Crest Trail, and right now we're overlooking Avila Beach. We got a beautiful view. It's a little bit cloudy out, but normally on a sunny day, this would be pretty nice. Heading south to Pismo Beach, another coastal hike called Pismo Preserve offers a wide variety of difficulties so hikers of any level can participate. The ocean is in clear view the entire way, and lush grasses and valleys make this spot easy to enjoy.
We are here at the Pismo Preserve. We just took the high road up to the knoll. We are about 430 feet up in the air. There are about 7 different trails that you can choose, so you can hike at any difficulty level that's right for you.
Closer to Cal Poly and a member of the Tri-Tip Challenge, the infamous Madonna Mountain offers scenic views of the city with shady spots and even a swing.
We're about 300 feet up, about 0.4 miles. Here we're not at the peak, but you have a nice view of SLO right below you, and then you can also see the Cal Poly P as well as the iconic Bishop's Peak.
If you're looking for something more difficult, Bishop's Peak offers a steep and rocky terrain with a gorgeous 360-degree view of San Luis Obispo at the top. Many SLO residents consider this trail to be the hardest in the area. Right now we are just slightly up the mountain here at Bishop's Peak. As you can see, it's right behind me. That is the summit. We're not going to climb all the way up it today because we've already done quite a few hikes today and we still got one more to go. Bishop's is known to be one of the hardest hikes in San Luis Obispo. It's a part of the Tri-Tip Challenge, which involves Bishop, Madonna, and the P. The Cal Poly P, which is located on campus right behind Vista Grande Dining Hall, is the final hike in the Tri-Tip Challenge and the shortest of the 3. This path can be steep, but hikers can decide how far they want to go since the summit is above the P.
We have just summited the final hike of the day. We're now atop the P, which has a fantastic view of both the Cal Poly community and San Luis Obispo as a whole. Not only that, but it has fantastic views of both Bishop's Peak and Madonna Mountain, also known as Cerro San Luis.
With so many options to choose from, there's sure to be a hike for anyone who's interested. For Mustang News, I'm Chloe Schauerman.
Fun fact, our reporters actually, they did all those hikes in one day, which is basically just the Tri-Tip Challenge, but on steroids. Have you ever been on the Tri-Tip Challenge?
I actually, confession, I have not done the Tri-Tip Challenge. I have done all 3 of those hikes separately, but I have not done them back to back. So major kudos to all of those reporters, because that is a lot of work.
Yes, this is a safe space, so I will also admit that I have never done that, but I don't like doing hiking, so that's my reasoning.
Fair enough. Well, spring's the perfect time to check out some of those trails, so take advantage while you're here. But if you're looking for more to do, no hiking boots required. We have so many clubs on campus to choose from, and our reporter Delaney is live at the club showcase. How's it going over there, Delaney?
Okay. Thank you. It's going really great over here at the club showcase. Here I am with Take It Slow, Cal Poly's a cappella group, and I am here with Ashley, their president. So Ashley, what is a cappella?
So a cappella is basically a whole group of people that sing together, and we just don't have any instruments. So we do all of the vocal percussion, the singing, all of the notes and the harmonies all together without any instruments behind us.
Okay, really interesting. And what are some of the positions that you have, like for the tones and all that?
Yeah, so we have a bunch of different parts that we have. So our group is all back here. We have all of our parts. So we start out with our super high sopranos that sing all of the super high airy notes. So that's Melina and Lexi. And then we kind of get into like the middle parts for women. That's the mezzo soprano. So that's going to be me, Rayhana, and Jessie. And then the lower parts for women are the altos. So that's going to be Bree and Zoe. And then for men, the higher parts, really like high belts, that's going to be the tenors. So we have Rory here, he's a tenor. And then the middle section is going to be the baritones. And so Oliver is a baritone. And then we also have bass, which is the super duper low notes that are kind of like the foundation of the songs. And then we have our 2 boys here that are also incredible beatboxers and want to show you something if that's okay.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah, let's see what they have.
You want to go first?
Sure. Let me see the best way to hold the mic. Hope I don't peak the mic too much.
There
we go.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was amazing. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
We also want another.
Thank you so much. Wow. This is amazing over here. We got some really good stuff. Okay, and now can we get like a full group demonstration?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just released yesterday the song Undone. It's on the Best of College a cappella, and we're super excited. We're going to be showing you that song.
Okay, sounds good. Okay.
Stuck together for about a year. That was geared too long for me. Trying to forget those memories. I wanna tell you how much I've been moving on. So many things for you to see, but I don't wanna waste my energy. I held you down, but you held me back, throwing my life off track. You had me feeling like I'm losing my mind, but looking back on all those moments, I never should have lied and told you that I loved you. No, I never should have said that you would be the one. I never should have lied and told you that I need you. All I needed was for us to come undone, undone, undone.
Okay, thank you so much. That was incredible. Okay, thank you so much for your time, and that was awesome. But yeah, okay, back to you guys.
That was so awesome, Delaney. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's like our own little Pitch Perfect here on campus.
I love that movie so much.
It's our own troublemakers right there.
Yes. The Barden, the Cal Poly Bellas.
Exactly.
Yes.
Something that we've been highlighting throughout this whole show is that there really is so much and so many opportunities and something for everybody here at campus. There's just so many unique things that you can do here. What do you think is the most unique thing that you've done during your time here?
Ooh, I've done a lot. I'm a busy woman. Let's see, like in terms of like clubs or just in general?
Anything.
I have two. The first one was my very first class in Cal Poly. I took the People, Pests, and Plagues class. That one was a very interesting class. It's like basically like an entomology beginner one. That one we went out into the field and collected bugs, and then we pinned them at the end of the year. And I personally am very afraid of bugs, so that was just really, really great exposure therapy. And then I think my other important experience for me was the Filipino Cultural Exchange Club. I met so many of my current friends in that club, and my hometown isn't that diverse, so coming here and seeing that there were so many people who looked like me, who come from the same culture, was just really, really great and very unique for me. What about you?
There's so many different experiences that come to mind. I think about all of the other clubs outside of Mustang News that I have participated in, including the Field Studies Club, which is kind of like the outdoor backpacking camping club.
Yes.
Also the Van Life Club, which is really funny because if you know me, I do not have a van. I have a teeny tiny little Toyota Camry. But the super cool thing is that they're so inclusive that you don't need to have a van. If you're interested in doing the things they like to do, all that entails with van life, you're also welcome to tag along. Something else that really comes to mind is we have a paddling club that's not with Cal Poly, but in the San Luis Obispo community called Poly Kai, and it's actually Hawaiian outrigger canoe paddling. And so they offer one free practice to see if you're interested in joining. And I got out there. We were down there in Morro Bay. It was freezing. It was a really overcast winter day, but it was so cool. They were just super welcoming and awesome. And we paddled all around Morro Bay and did all of the different sprints, speeding up and slowing down and learning all of the different techniques. So I think that's definitely one of the most unique experiences I've had during my time here.
Did you see any otters?
Oh, of course. Morro Bay, if you don't know, has so many otters, and it's so adorable. They always have moms with their little pups as well, and they have their little rocks that they like to clean together. So if you're into wildlife and you want to spot some of the otters, Morro is the place to go check out.
Yes, I know you did a story last year about the Cal Poly Sailing Club, and they practice in Morro Bay too, right?
Yes. Yes, yeah, I actually did get to do a story with the sailing club as well. Thank you for reminding me. That was super cool. I got to go out on the boat with them for a practice and just see what sailing is all about. So yeah, there's definitely lots of unique experiences here if you're interested in. Another unique opportunity our campus offers are the machine shops, where students are able to work hands-on with heavy machinery. Here to tell us more is our reporter Mia Muzi.
In the Aero Hangar of Cal Poly, all students have the unique opportunity to get their certification and training to use a wide variety of machinery to complete their own projects. Clubs like Baja and Racing also work here.
The machine shops are extremely important to Cal Poly as a whole, mostly because it just is the Cal Poly learn by doing environment. We design the projects, we build the projects. It really is just the learn by doing experience. When you go talk to employers and they ask how you might machine something, you can tell them exactly how because you've done it.
Another form of hands-on learning offered are the IME courses, which includes teaching topics such as metal casting and welding on both beginner and intermediate levels, allowing students to expand on skills and gain a deeper understanding.
So our introductory classes don't have any prereqs, as they are just for getting students exposed to the fact that this material exists, that this is a way of manufacturing, a way of designing your parts, whereas our more intermediate levels have prereqs of either the intro class or related sciences.
Students also have access to the Makerspace, which houses 3D printers, sewing machines, and other tools, which is free to promote creativity and a true learn-by-doing experience. From Mustang News, I'm Delaney Hill.
The machine shops are free to use on campus for students once they are Red Tag certified, and they are open to all majors.
Oh my God, do you hear that?
Yeah, what is that?
Is there a bee in here? Oh my God. Wait, how did a bee get into the studio?
I have no idea.
Well, Just kidding, guys. There is no bee here, but you know where you can find bees? In the beekeeping class here at Cal Poly. I got to go to their beekeeping class and observe. Let's buzz on over and take a look.
Been example in other places, but that is a really good point. It's like in this case, there weren't that many ants, so it's like a huge concern.
That's the sound of one of the most sought-after classes at Cal Poly, beekeeping. The class has no prerequisites, which allows every major an opportunity to take the class. But that accessibility also makes it one of the harder classes to get into. And for instructors, that mix of students is the best part.
You know, I just love I love all their different, like everybody comes in with their own perspective and everybody comes in with their own skills. So it's not so much to me what they know before they come in here. I like to learn from them. So I like to learn, if it's an engineering student, I like to know their perspective on beekeeping. Everybody has their own ideas. So to me, it doesn't matter.
For instructor Patrick Frazier, the course goes beyond beekeeping, and it's also about understanding the role bees play in pollination and agriculture.
They're just a fascinating insect, and the students seem to really connect with something that they've never really experienced before. And I like all the new aha and oohs and ahs of the new learnings and things that you're seeing and experiencing. And there's a huge promotion towards, one, educating people, and then two, the importance of bees and pollinators.
The class is built around a hands-on approach. Led by experienced beekeepers in the field, both Frazier and Rose bring years of agricultural and business knowledge to give students a glimpse into how hives are managed.
The key to success is just have fun and show up every single week, because we do great on attendance, because that's how it's very hands-on, very learn by doing. So you got to be here to learn.
This hands-on approach means that students work with bees starting on the very first day by opening hives, handling frames, and checking for queen bees.
In the field, it was awesome. You know, right away being able to be with the bees and do stuff hands-on was amazing.
But working with thousands of bees doesn't come easy. Inside the hives, students look at broods, monitor colony health, and learn how to safely work around the bees. For some, that means trying things they never expected.
It didn't taste that bad. A lot of people didn't like the taste of it, but it was just a little acidy and it was fun to try.
And along with understanding the technical side of beekeeping, it definitely takes some getting used to.
Prying the frames out of the hive and then lifting it up and shaking all the bees off, and then they just start flying everywhere. So that was scary, and it took me a little bit to build up that courage. So that was the hard part, but really it was really rewarding.
Every day in the field is different based around what the hive needs.
So we're not going to force the beehives to do what we want to do for teaching. We're actually going to do what the beehives need.
And for those thinking of taking the class,
be open to opportunities. If you can, always say yes. Don't turn down anything that's offered to you. The worst thing that could happen is that you find out you don't like it.
For Mustang News, I'm Lauren Kihana. To be or not to be, there's always a buzz of activity on this campus.
Including an on-campus observatory that is completely student-run and open to the entire community. Our reporter Mia Muzi looked more into all of the features that the observatory offers.
High above Cal Poly, students are getting a closer look at the universe. The Cal Poly Observatory is completely run by students, open 3 nights a week for both astronomy classes and anyone else interested in space.
It's just really cool to see a physical application of the things you're learning. So of course you can look up and just see the stars with your naked eye, and that's awesome and cool as well. But when you're talking in classes about this is what this type of star looks like, or this is the description of this planet, and then you can visibly see that through our telescope, I think that's a really cool learn by doing, hands-on application of the things you're learning in classes to your extracurriculars. And so it's just it's a really cool direct experience to the things that you're learning.
Observatory assistants lead presentations, guide visitors, and point out stars and planets visible in the night sky.
Yeah, we have a lot of different things here. The main telescope that we have is a 14-inch telescope, which is pretty big for a eyepiece telescope. Behind me, we have the dome telescope, which is a really important piece of technology where we have something called a charged couple device. And that adds, basically, it counts photons, which can give you very, very precise information on what you are looking at.
But beyond the technology, it's the scale of what's out there that leaves the biggest impact.
Well, looking at the night sky really gives us a perspective. There is a phenomena of people in space looking down on Earth, and kind of makes all of your personal issues feel kind of inconsequential.
For students, seeing it firsthand makes all the difference.
I mean, obviously the telescope and looking through it was honestly the most exciting part. Probably getting to see Jupiter up close. That's like my first time actually like looking through a telescope at Jupiter. So that was super exciting. Getting to know like about all the different kinds of like stuff we were looking at was also pretty exciting too.
For Mustang News, I'm Mia Muzi.
The observatory is open 3 nights a week, but it is weather dependent, so make sure to check out their website before heading out.
Yes, and the observatory is also on campus, which makes it a really, really easy activity for anybody who's living on campus that doesn't have a car. I'm looking at you, the first years. But I know that housing is also something that a lot of first years are worried about. So here to show you a lot of your new home next year, here's Chloe Showerman.
I'm currently standing outside of Yakitutu, one of Cal Poly's freshman residency halls that houses double, triple, and quintuple occupancy dorm rooms. Throughout the course of today, we'll get to explore different freshman residency halls, such as Yakitutu, Sierra Madre, Yosemite, North Mountain, and Red Bricks.
Yakitutu residence halls are Cal Poly's newest freshman dorms and became available to students in 2018. These dorms consist of double, triple, and quintuple occupancy rooms. Multiple residential learning communities are housed in Yakitutu's 7 residence halls, which vary in size from 3 to 5 stories. Each floor shares 1 to 2 gender-inclusive bathrooms, depending on the size of the building. Most Yakitutu rooms are triples, but in this building, Sikawa, there are 4 double rooms on each floor. There are also 2 quints on each floor, 1 for boys and 1 for girls. Kinesiology freshman Carolyn Wagner occupies a quint and feels happy with her arrangement.
Life living in a quint is actually a lot of fun. I was really worried coming in. Obviously, like 5 people in one room is a lot. Even like in a quint, I feel like I have my own space in my bed and my desk, and everyone's really respectful.
The Sierra Madre Towers consist of 6 residence buildings that stretch from Vista Grande Dining Hall to the Yosemite Towers at the southeast end of campus. The rooms for both Sierra Madre and Yosemite are double or triple occupancy, with only 2 rooms per floor being triples. Both also have bathrooms that are separated by gender unless the student specifically requests queer-affirming housing. Yosemite borders Sierra Madre and has 10 residence buildings. These halls sit at the furthest southeast end of campus across the street from Yakitutu. North Mountain halls consist of 5 residence halls with all rooms being triple occupancy. These rooms have connected bathrooms that are in a community style. Bedrooms and bathrooms are separated by gender unless the student specifically requests queer-affirming housing. Neighboring North Mountain is the South Mountain halls, which are also known as Red Bricks. There are a total of 6 halls, and each one has a game room, laundry room, and study lounge, as well as a front desk and community kitchen. Halls provide double and triple occupancy accommodations, and each hall has 3 stories with 2 wings on each floor. Rooms are same gender, and floors are mixed gender. The bathrooms on the first and second floors are all gender. The bathrooms on the 3rd floor are single gender by wing. These dorms are most central to campus and the University Union, otherwise known as the UU.
Cal Poly plans to add 9 new dorm buildings to the space behind me, which is right behind South Mountain Halls, otherwise known as Red Bricks. The project is set to be complete in 2032.
So I feel like we haven't really been informed of like when the construction's gonna end. Like during midterms and like finals week last quarter, the construction was just really loud. It's mostly in the morning, like before everybody has their classes. So it kind of disrupts sleep too. I heard it's dorms they're building back there, but I'm not fully sure. So I feel like they could inform us more, especially since we live so close to it.
The project will introduce 8- and 9-story dorm buildings to campus and also renovate Red Bricks as well. Once the project is complete, all second-year students will be able to live on campus. For Mustang News, I'm Chloe Showerman.
That was such a great inside look into the freshman housing opportunities. Where did you live your first year, Lauren?
I was really lucky. I lived in Sikawayu my first year, but I was also in a quintuple, so pick your battles. What about you?
Actually, I'm a transfer student. So I lived in Cerro Vista last year, which is specifically for transfer students. It's your own little apartment that you share with 3 other people, and it was an incredible experience. And if there's any transfer students that are watching, I'm sure you guys have a couple questions about what that experience is like. And we have with us Allie from the Transfer Center, who's going to answer a couple questions. Hi, Allie. Thanks for coming today.
Hi, all. Thank you so much for having me. This is so exciting.
Awesome. For students who might be thinking about transferring, what does the Transfer Center do here at Cal Poly?
That's a great question. So the Transfer Center here at Cal Poly is a resource hub for currently enrolled students. We put on a lot of events that are intended to foster a sense of belonging, as well as connect students to other resources on campus, whether that's career services, TRIO, EOP, athletics, all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure you've seen so many of the transfers working in the center. Do you have like an estimate of how big the transfer student community is on campus?
Yes, so we are a small but mighty population. We are about 2,000 students. For transfer students, each year we get about a little bit under 1,000 admitted, so it's really exciting. Very small but mighty population.
Yeah, and what are some of the biggest challenges you see transfer students have when they come to Cal Poly?
Great question. I'd say the first one is they come to the Transfer Center looking for academic advising. At a lot of universities as well as community colleges, the Transfer Center is a place where they get their academic advising. Unfortunately, at Cal Poly, we don't do our own academic advising in the Transfer Center. They do need to meet with their academic colleges. So that is a big hurdle, is kind of coming to us and being like, oh no, I'm in the wrong spot. So then we have to make sure that we give them the correct information with who to meet with next in their colleges specifically. The other things I think are more around the personal life, whether that's finding housing or parking, and then also just making that sense of community and stuff like that, finding other transfers, finding other friends, and that's why we try to get folks to come into the Transfer Center so that you can meet other transfer homies.
Yeah, are there any specific programs or events that are designed specifically for transfer students?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. So we have a couple. We're actually doing one right now. So if you're here for open house, we're doing our self-guided transfer tours. That's a way to meet other transfers in the different buildings and get to talk to them one-on-one, ask your questions. Overall, in the school year, we have National Transfer Student Week, which is the 3rd week in October, and it's super fun because there'll be 2 events every day, just really celebrating what it means to be a transfer, whether those are online events, in-person events. We do therapy dogs, we do in and out, we do transfer talks where we have other campus partners come in and kind of present what they offer, whether that's college core, financial aid. I mentioned career services earlier. That's a really popular one, having them come in and do drop-in resume reviews. So yeah, really all kinds of different events that we offer, whether that's on the bigger scale or the smaller scale. We just try to do as much as we can to support and celebrate the transfers.
I love that.
Awesome. And how do you help transfer students feel connected when they come to Cal Poly, especially since it's already an established campus community?
Great question. So for that, we definitely try to be really intentional about the care and the support that we give. I myself am actually a transfer student, so I like to kind of just, as soon as a student comes into the center, where did you transfer from? You know, let's connect about that. Did you come from another university? Did you come in from a community college? Really get to know them on the personal level. All of our student assistants are also transfer students, so again, really fun getting to share that wealth of knowledge, kind of the multi-directional learning. And then with that, like I said, the intentionality of these events being really fostered and catered to the needs of a transfer student. They might be a little bit different from the direct entry student. So if we're having a housing conversation about workshops, we might not have on-campus housing come. It might be more directly related to the off-campus housing program, as well as doing a speed friending event and really inviting transfer students from all the colleges, offering it online, because we also have transfer students at the Maritime School as well as in the Pathways programs.
Yeah, and for those transfer students who come in who are worried about fitting in and all that, what advice do you normally give them?
Ooh. Try everything. Try everything once, and if you're not sure where to start with trying anything at campus, come to the Transfer Center, come say hi, meet myself, meet any of our student assistants. They're all so amazing and have so much knowledge about their experience being a transfer student as well as now being a student at Cal Poly, and they can help you on whatever path that might be, whether that's getting involved in clubs and opportunities, finding internships, finding research opportunities, or honestly just hanging out, doing a puzzle, playing with Play-Doh. We kind of just do everything in the Transfer Center. So really come to the center, say hi, and also don't be afraid to ask questions, because that's another big one as well.
Yeah, and how does the center help students stay on track to graduate on time?
Okay, staying on track to graduate, from application to graduation, we do a lot of outreach, whether that's through digital media such as our Instagram. We have a canvas for transfer students, and then we also do a newsletter where we kind of just keep them on track with other things that are happening, whether that's the registration cycles going around, whether that's for our incoming students turning in their transcripts on time, stuff like that. I mentioned earlier that we are really big in connecting students to resources. So making sure that if they're with like quarter to semester, there's a big change happening, we get folks in from the quarter to semester office to really discuss what that change might look like for our transfer students. That's also having the different colleges come in and do office hours within the center. We have Dawn from engineering come in pretty much a couple times every quarter, and it's so fun to kind of get those students have that extra level of support there. And then we also do transfer stoles. So for any of our graduating transfer students, they get their own little stole at graduation. So that's really fun. We'll have that event. Week 4, we'll be doing a graduation celebration where students can start coming and getting their stole. We'll have commencement there if they have any questions about tickets and stuff like that. Yeah, we do so much. So I'm like, let me tell you every example, but those are the top 2, I'd say for sure.
Yeah, and like I'm sure you've seen so many transfer students come in, and then you've seen them like as they grow through their time in Cal Poly. What does success look like for a student at Cal Poly?
Ooh, now that is tricky. I would say for a transfer student at Cal Poly, success looks like whatever they want it to be. I know that is very general and ambiguous, but honestly, I've worked with some transfer students where they just want to make sure that every day they're going to Cal Poly, they're having a good time, that they're finding something in their day that's bringing them joy. So at graduation or when it gets towards the end of their term, we check in, be like, how's it going? And they're like, I'm having a great time. I still love what I'm doing. I'm so glad I'm here. Things might be tough and things might be going on, but I'm still happy I chose Cal Poly. For me, that's success. For me, them coming to see me, and it might be not, you know, they might be having a lot of hard times going on, but they still feel comfortable coming to me, coming into the center and just grabbing a snack, using the printing, you know, and they might look like they're having a hard time, and just knowing that they've still come to the transfer center, it's a success. I'm happy that they know that they can come use these resources, and really just, we're here if they need us, but also, you know, transfer students have so much going on. So yeah, success looks like so many different things. That's a very hard question. But as long as, you know, they know where to come and that joy is found in some place or the other, and for them, I'm happy.
Yeah, and I know that personally I've gone to the Transfer Center a couple times. Could you tell us a little bit more about what the physical space of the Transfer Center offers for students?
Yes, great question. So if you're not familiar, the Transfer Center is located in Building 52, room E30 and E29. We actually just upgraded to an additional room this past fall, which is super exciting. So for the past 6 years or so, because the Transfer Center, the physical space, opened in 2020, so more so 2021, 2022, the physical space was kind of just this smaller room where we had free printing, a microwave, snacks, coffee, free blue books, Scantrons, kind of whatever you need. If you find out you have a pop quiz, you need a blue book, please come in and grab one, transfers. And then also just our student assistants that I mentioned earlier, where you can ask questions if you need to be connected to resources and stuff like that. But then this past fall, we acquired the room right next door, which has a window. I'm very proud of our window. And then also has whiteboards and more desks and stuff like that. So we've kind of called that one the study space. And then the other one, just the transfer hub. It's more the lounge. People get a little bit more chatty in that space. So we have the two spaces. It's honestly so great. The hours from Monday through Thursday are 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then on Fridays, it's 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Yeah, and like for like the future transfer students who might be watching, is there like, do you have any advice for them, or like what's one thing that if you could tell them, what would it be?
Ooh. I would say congratulations on getting through community college or your university, wherever you're transferring from. Congratulations on making that decision to keep going, to pursue whatever degree you're going for. And then if Cal Poly is on your radar and that's something you want to do, start getting connected in whatever ways you can, explore the website. For us specifically, go on our Instagram, see what we're posting, start following us now because we'll start posting about important information, dates, and deadlines. Like I mentioned earlier, if that's regarding like turning in your transcripts on time, when slow days is, and WOW, and other areas that the Transfer Center might be a part of. That way you can start getting connected to not only us, but other accurate forms of information online. Because like I mentioned, we are a resource hub. We want to make sure that you're given the accurate information and that you're supported as a transfer student. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for meeting with us today, Allie, and sharing a little bit more about what the Transfer Center has for students on campus.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, guys, for having me. This is super fun.
Awesome. Apart from transferring to Cal Poly, a popular method of transferring around San Luis Obispo is SLO transit. Free for all students. Here to break down how transit works in SLO is reporter RJ Pollock.
How you doing? Hello, future Mustangs. My name is RJ Pollock, and if you're planning to coming to Cal Poly without a car, it might seem a little daunting at first, but fear not, the city and campus is designed with public transportation in mind. So come with me as this is your orientation to public transportation.
Bicycles and scooters are a common form of transportation in San Luis Obispo, especially among students. The city features a wide network of bike lanes along major roads, making it convenient and safe to ride between campus, downtown, and surrounding neighborhoods. Cal Poly's campus is equipped with bike racks near nearly every building, offering students easy access to class, dining, and recreation facilities. Students are encouraged to use a sturdy lock, as bike theft is one of the most common crimes across campus, and it may be a good idea to become familiar with basic bike maintenance before arriving on campus. Yet there are clubs and organizations on campus that provide assistance with your bike.
But of course, biking can't get you everywhere. And for many other students, another popular option is the bus.
SLO Transit offers free public bus service for Cal Poly students. A quick swipe of the Poly card covers the fare, and you're free to ride. The 3 and 4 routes are the most frequently used by students. They provide access to campus, downtown SLO, grocery stores, and residential areas where many students live off campus. Bus arrival times can be checked in real time using the SLO Transit app, which helps students plan trips more effectively. Between the city's bike-friendly infrastructure and the accessible bus network, students at Cal Poly have multiple reliable options for getting around town without a car. Reporting for Mustang News, I'm RJ Pollock.
Thanks, RJ. Planning out your route is very, very important when using SLO Transit, but planning out your future career is so challenging.
Here to help explain more on how the Career Services helps you to plan ahead is David Levison. Hi, David. Thank you for meeting with us today.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for inviting Career Services. Appreciate it.
For students and like some of their supporters who might not really know or be familiar, but could you tell us a little bit about what Career Services does for students at Cal Poly?
Absolutely. And I will try not to take up too much time, but I feel we do so much for students that they don't realize it. And I want to kind of encourage first-year students to start coming to see us right away because of that. For example, there's just understanding the whole career development process of understanding of the self-assessment and self-discovery, connecting it to career exploration, and then connecting that to preparing for that career. And understanding and just being able to do that as a lifelong learning tool, because many people don't realize, but nowadays people change careers quite often. So being able to go through that process throughout your life and learning it right away is a strong thing to have. So we really encourage first years to come in. Addition to that, though, we still have workshops and classroom presentations. I think we did over 200 classroom presentations in each quarter this year, reaching out to students to get them to come in and work on their resumes, their interview skills, utilizing our career fairs. We just had another career fair this spring. We have a lot of those career fairs performed by or developed and put together by our employment development team. They're behind the scenes. A lot of students don't realize they're there, but they do a lot of things for them, including the clothing closet. So if you have an interview or something that you need to do and you're like, all I have is my beach clothes, then come down to Career Services and you can check out 3 items a day. And I say check out because you get to keep those items. And the community's been really good at donating those to us. So we have a lot of good clothes for students if they need that. But there's a variety of services that students need to start diving into, and they pay for those services with their tuition already. So come in and get your money's worth. Come talk to us.
Awesome. And when should students start working with Career Services? Is it something they should do right away or hold off on?
Absolutely. Thank you. And just to say, like, for students in the quarter system, it's tough to get here and go there right away, right? In the semester system, it might be a little easier. But the way we say it to students is if you can't connect with us the first semester in person, definitely connect to our career resource toolkit online and start for yourself getting to know those tools. But if you can get to us in person at least sometime your first year, you're going to be much better off in your future in preparing for things.
Yeah, I remember when I was a first year, I was really excited because I met some of the career services people at during WOW week and during slow days, and I remember being really excited to find the building and stuff. So I remember they advised me, they're like, yeah, just go to the career fair and hang out. And that was one of the very first activities that I did that made me feel like a real college student and a real adult going to a career fair all by myself.
I love that, and I appreciate that very much. I love that because we do encourage students to do that, and I'm glad you called our bluff, for lack of better words.
Yeah, I got a lot of free hand sanitizer. I remember I called my mom that night and I was I showed her the big old tote bag full of the different,
all the different stuff.
Of all the brochures, all the different goodies I got.
That's
and I was
awesome.
I love going to career fairs. This was so fun. It was great. But I know Cal Poly is known for learn by doing. So how does career services help turn that experience into actual job opportunities?
Well, that's and I know about that question earlier, honestly. That's a tough one to say specifically, but here's what I can tell you about that. Cal Poly itself is so based around learn by doing, and Cal Poly is also very career focused. It's something that California's strategic plan has been bringing around, but Cal Poly's been ahead of that kind of from the beginning, at least in my opinion, okay? And it's very focused on that career. So, with us on campus, excuse me, I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Can you bring me back?
Yeah, of course. Do you want me to tell you the question again?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, how does career services help turn that experience into actual job opportunities?
So all of the learn by doing in classes, students come in all the time and they say, well, I don't have any work experience because they've been going to school, right? But we go, look, learn by doing. Every one of your classes, you do group assignments, group projects. We help students to turn that into resume material, teach them how to articulate those experiences onto their resume, because experience is experience. It can come from a variety of places. It does not say, have you list on your resume, paid experience. It does not say that. So that's the way we go about doing that, really.
Yeah, and what are some of the most common mistakes you see students making when they're preparing for internships or jobs?
Well, they think that it's okay to just put out their resume and put where they work and put a couple of things that they might have done there and kind of summarize. But I think that they don't take enough time to actually really truly articulate those experiences to their resume, even in a simple star or CAR format where it's challenge, action, and result in its basic form, or situation, task, action, result. And framing that whenever they can to really articulate their experience. Those strong action verbs in the beginning of each bullet, things like that. Sometimes we just kind of blurt that out real quick and don't really pay attention to that. And I think so that's some of the biggest mistakes students make, is that they don't truly represent themselves the way that they could be represented. They just kind of rush it out there and get it in.
Yeah, and I guess to kind of on the topic of fixing mistakes, what kind of resources do students have access to, whether it's resume help or mock interviews or career fairs even, to kind of help them fix those mistakes before they even happen?
Thank you, I appreciate that as well. Right away, just to piggyback on what you said, is going to career fairs every time you can from when your first day at the campus, I think is good, because every time you go in there and you feel a little bit bigger, a little bit more confident to go through it, right? So you want to get to where you feel like you own that place. But on top of that, when I spoke about our career resource toolkit, which is available through careerservices.calpoly.edu, there is actual AI software that we've paid for that all students, Cal Poly students, have access to. And for example, the resume AI, students can submit their resume and a job description, and it will do the ATS, applicant tracking system, simulate that and show students what they've missed in their resume in comparison to that job description. We also have, now it's called Big Interview, and it's our AI software for interviewing. Students, as you know, most interviews now, the first level is Zoom anyways. So students can actually go to Big Interview and take mock interviews with people, asking them the questions, they can answer it. Students can go back and obviously look at that recording, but they can also submit it for the AI feedback to say, look, you said 50 times, or you said this, or that kind of thing, Tony, about filler words and things like that. So students can practice in their own safety of whatever spot they have to be able to do that as many times as they want to.
That sounds really useful. Oh my gosh, I should use that.
It is. I want everyone to know that. Just go to our Career Resource Toolkit under Resumes or under Interviews, and you'll find Big Resume or Big Interview. Use your Cal Poly email address, and there's a lot of stuff there. There's even a question library. There's games you could play to learn interviewing and stuff. It's actually pretty cool. Students need to check it out more.
That's incredible. Could you walk us through what a student's visit might look like in person their first time to career services?
That's a good one. I'm going to give you a couple of different examples, okay? We have, like you said, juniors or seniors who come in and they're about to apply to something and they just want someone else to say, yes, you're doing it good. You got a good resume. Yes, you're ready for this interview, kind of a thing, right? But we've also, because we've tried to push, I want to mention one of my colleagues, one of the counselors, his name is Fabian Quintero, and he does a lot of things targeting first-year students. And so one of the things we tell them is, look, come into our office and make an appointment. If you come in and you sit down with the counselor and you go, I don't know why I'm here, I just know I'm supposed to be here. We're going to help you to see all of the things that we can do to help you with that. But there's also people who come in, give another counselor plug real quick, Tammy. Our engineering students, it seems when they get some kind of salary or job offers, they contact Tammy and go, Tammy, how do I negotiate salaries? And then there's other people where, they come in for our business students. If they're freaking out about some internship, something set up, then Matt, he's going to help calm them down for that. And so it's really a wide variety of things. I find that once students come into our office one time, they realize that there's a lot of pretty cool people there to help them, and they continue to come back for anything, and that's what we want from them.
Yeah, and you kind of touched on it before, like with the students who kind of come in and they're like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm supposed to be here. In that scenario, how does Career Services help them figure out what they should be doing or what they want to be doing?
Well, I can only speak for myself, but I'm sure all of us counselors are very similar in the way we go about it. But we'll start off with what's your major, of course, and what is it that you're looking to do in your career. And most of the time in that case, students will say, well, I think I want to do something in the area maybe of. So we start telling them, okay, well, let's start getting rid of that think, something, and maybe, and let's start giving you the tools to be able to research this better and actually turn that into actual words that are not so vague, right? And just so we could start telling them, well, do you have a resume? And then that's the other thing. Most first-year students come in, they go, I don't have a resume. I just graduated high school. I didn't work. Well, I promise you have a resume, a one-page professional resume. You just need to learn how to create that and articulate your high school experiences to that. So we point out these things to them, and also, again, from my experience, the students every time say, I'm so glad I came, I'm going to be back again. So it's just getting them to make that appointment, and which right now is a challenge because we're way down there in building 124. You guys know it's not exactly in the center campus, but when we get the new building, we'll be there and we'll be a lot closer to students.
Yeah, a little walk never hurt anybody.
That's good, thank you. And we try to make it pleasant there. So we know you went for long walks, so we're trying to make it very pleasant for you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for meeting with us today, David, and sharing all of the incredible resources that Career Services has for students.
I appreciate it, and our office appreciates the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. And speaking of career opportunities, downstairs in the Graphic Arts Building is the home of Ride High Productions, which is our campus's student-run broadcasting sports center. Here to tell you a little bit more about it, here's Chloe Showerman.
3, 2, 1, and roll.
Fielder's choice then, right?
Yeah, so I did force out, which I think is fielder's choice. This is unlike any other student job on campus. The first thing I started doing at ESPN Plus was I was a camera operator at volleyball and soccer games, and I was able to learn how to be a replay operator and technical director as well.
Okay, we're going to be down on graphics for a couple minutes here, back in 10.
Andrew and Chris have been very good with me. I'm the kind of person who really likes to get my hands on with the equipment and all sorts of things and really spend time looking around and finding new features, and they've given me a lot of time to do that on my own. Someone that can really be a co-worker as well as a mentor and supervisor has been a really great thing to have, and definitely a benefit to working here and why I've stayed here.
Pan right B, and get me, zoom in on those guys right there. The environment is one of learning more than anything, because I feel like you learn more when you fail than you do sometimes than when you succeed. Students find us in all different types of ways. Sometimes we'll meet them out in the public. We'll meet somebody, we'll be at farmer's market, or we'll be introduced to somebody through some other professional, like, oh, they go to Cal Poly, and I'm like, oh, you're a freshman? And they'll be like, yeah. I'm like, that's 4 years of work, I'm like, you want a job? 30 seconds, drop graphic, please, drop graphic. At this level, we sometimes get students that have no television experience at all, and then we have journalism students that know a little bit about what to do, and they all end up finding their place, at the end, which is what both Andrew and I are trying to accomplish.
Nice timing, Daly. Last summer, I had an internship working at the San Francisco Giants Stadium, working as an intern broadcast engineer. Based on the things I've learned here, I have a job coming up. I'm going to start after I graduate in Cal Poly, and I'm going to move to the East Coast and start work at that and hoping to continue in this field.
Ride High Productions is always looking for new students to join their team and continues to be the driving force behind Cal Poly's ESPN Plus broadcasts every day. For Mustang News, I'm Chloe Showerman.
Yes, ESPN is one of the many opportunities that we have for students in the field of broadcast journalism. We are journalism students in the field of broadcast journalism, so I wanted to ask you, what opportunities have you gotten to do while you've been here, other than ESPN Plus, because we don't do that?
Yeah, unfortunately, we're not the best sports reporters, but we have so much respect for everyone that was. But I've had so many incredible opportunities. Obviously, you know, if you're watching this, we're part of Mustang News TV, and we're on the video team. And the video team has really, truly like shaped my experience here at Cal Poly. I was so lucky to be able to join right after transferring, and it has brought me to meet so many amazing people, like not just within Mustang News, but also all of the stories that I've gotten to cover. I've gotten to experience some of the coolest things through this program, being able to cover these stories. And you know, we're very social people as journalism majors, and so it's just getting to like experience and meet so many different kinds of people that you probably wouldn't if you were just on campus. Just, you know, through different majors, you know, like for example, my rodeo story that we saw earlier, like those are agricultural majors, and they're on the complete opposite side of campus. So if I wasn't covering a story, I probably wouldn't find myself on that side of campus. But it's just so cool to be able to meet and discuss with so many different kinds of people through this program.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting getting like a little glimpse, because being in journalism, like our day looks completely different to any like other STEM majors. So like when I talk to my STEM major friends about their day and what they're doing, and then I tell them about mine, it's so interesting. And like especially doing stories like on there, it's like, oh, I don't really feel as much FOMO for being a STEM major because I get to see what their day is.
Yeah, awesome. And so we actually got to sit down a couple days ago with our incoming editor-in-chief for Mustang News next year, Kaylin O'Connell, here to take a look.
So Kaylin, for people watching who may not know what Mustang News is, what is it and what does it cover here at Cal Poly?
Well, Mustang News is our university student-run newspaper, so pretty much everyone at Cal Poly can work on the student newspaper and cover campus events, local events, San Luis Obispo, and yeah, pretty much anything that we think students might be interested in.
And what are you most excited about stepping into this new role?
I mean, it's a super exciting experience, and I never really thought that I would get to be editor-in-chief. Like, that's a crazy thing to even say out loud. I don't know. I mean, I'm excited for the opportunity as a whole, and I'm excited to kind of get to work with different teams that I haven't gotten an experience to work with before, because my experience with Mustang News has mostly been news-centered. So I'm just really excited to get like a whole breadth of experience.
Awesome. And then like what kind of real-world experience are like journalism students getting through Mustang News?
I mean, I think Mustang News does a great job at preparing us for journalism and the real world. I think we have breaking shifts where our reporters get to go out and actually work on some breaking news that happens within like a 3-hour time span. We have people doing video stories and going on the scene for like election coverage. So really everything we do with Mustang News is real world experience.
And what are some goals you have for Mustang News in this next coming year?
I think my main goal is to increase like multimedia and cross collaboration between teams, because I think right now all of our teams are super strong, but it would be great if we could bring those components together for each and every team. So let's say we're covering an election, then, or we already do this, but to bring this across the board, so like election coverage, we do a great job at having audio, video, and written components. So I think doing that for all of our teams and for all of our coverage would be great, because I think that could help amplify how great we are in our different segments.
As the next editor-in-chief, what does your role like actually entail?
Well, as the next editor-in-chief, pretty much I oversee all of the editors, essentially, and all the different teams. And my role specifically is very centered in like the newsroom culture and how we appear externally. So working with different groups on campus to help with our coverage of campus events and just making sure we're kind of filling all those holes in our coverage.
And kind of on a similar note, what are some of the biggest responsibilities that come with leading a newsroom?
That one's hard. I mean, I think it's kind of just, for me, for editor-in-chief, I think one of the biggest responsibilities is making sure that just everyone's happy and everyone's having a good time. And I think that has a lot to do with if everything's going well professionally, making sure everyone's meshing well, all the teams are happy, but then also just like bonding so that we know each other personally, so when we work with each other professionally, it's even better.
And like Cal Poly, obviously, like we're known for learn by doing. So how has Mustang News embodied that for you?
Yeah, I think Mustang News and even the journalism department as a whole does a great job of embodying learn by doing, because I feel like now I'd be completely ready to enter the journalism field and have plenty of experience. I'm personally a lot more interested in like written and copy journalism, and I've written so many stories. Last year was my first year as a reporter, and I wrote like 16 stories within the year, and they were all published. And so it's like you have so much experience and you have so much to show for it with Mustang News that's a great opportunity. And even with Mustang News, it's like you have so many opportunities to work with different components of Mustang News. So I've worked with video, I've published a sports story, and so yeah, I think it's great learn by doing, because anything you want to try, you can.
For sure. I feel like this department does a really good job of like taking you out of your comfort zone and pushing you to do things that you wouldn't normally take a stab at. Why is student journalism and like student news important on a college campus?
Yeah, I think it's really important because when we live on a college campus, we kind of live in a little bubble almost, and it feels separate from the real world at times. And I think student journalism does a great job of preparing students almost to enter the real world. And it's super important for students, whether they're on a college campus or graduating, or really people in general, to stay informed through the news. And I think college and student journalism does a great job at really putting that news right in front of you, so that students can kind of practice that experience, I guess. And I also think it's great because there's so many things going on our college campus that students don't necessarily know about, just because we have so many colleges that do so many different things. And so if you're a CLA major, maybe you don't know what's going on with the sheep all the way across campus. So I think student journalism is great to just keep everyone informed.
Yeah, and you mentioned like you've been a reporter for like a while. You've written a lot of stories, but like, what has been like a moment or a story that stuck with you like during your time with Mustang News?
That's a good question. I wrote a story during my sophomore year about the environmental impact of data centers and AI, and that was super important to me because AI has, become more prominent over the past few years, especially here at Cal Poly with us now having like a center on campus. And so that was just like a question that I had and I wanted to answer, so I figured other people would as well. And it was just so interesting to interview people who have a lot of knowledge in AI and computer science and environmentalism and all these things. And it's like, it's just great to interview people who have more experience and more knowledge than you do in different spheres, I guess. And it was just genuinely some of the most interesting and captivating conversations I had were revolving around that story. And we just sat there for like an hour and just chatted about it. And I walked out feeling super excited about the story, but then also just knowing so much more about something I was already interested in. And yeah, I think that's just the reason why I love Mustang News in general, because it's like, if you want to know something, you can go out, find that out, and then you can tell other people, and then other people will know too.
That's so cool. How have you grown, not just as a journalist, but as a person through your time with Mustang News?
I would definitely say that Mustang News has brought me out of my shell quite a bit. I wouldn't say that I've ever been an introverted person though, but I think being on Mustang News, you have to go out and you have to interview people. Just a few weeks ago, I was in a class where it's pretty much just news writing, but in a class format. And I had to go to the library and interview people, and I was just walking up to people being like, hi, my name's Kaylin, I'm a reporter with Mustang News, can I ask you some questions? And so people said no, and so it's just like, I feel like being with Mustang News, it forces you to go out of your comfort zone, like we were talking about earlier, and also just a little bit like feeling comfortable with feeling uncomfortable, I guess. And so I think that's a really important skill, is also like rejection therapy. So yeah, I would definitely say that.
Yes, rejection therapy is a very big part of our curriculum.
Yes.
But like when you were first starting out as a reporter, like did you ever expect to be in this position, or like when you were like considering Cal Poly as like a college?
No. Yeah, because I didn't even join Mustang News until my sophomore year, and I really wish I joined my freshman year just because it's been a great experience and like I don't want it to end. But no, I never thought I would. And I remember I was like stalking people on LinkedIn who were in Mustang News, and I was like, okay, this is the path they got to do EIC or to become editor-in-chief. And I was like, okay, but they've had so much more experience than I did. Like there's no way I can do that. And even last year I applied for assistant news editor, and I just like, I thought about applying for news editor, but I was like, no, that's scary. I don't want to do that. So it's genuinely like, I didn't even start thinking about it until like fall of this year, and then I was like, okay, maybe. But then anytime something that would happen to like get my hopes up, I'd be like, okay, don't get excited. Okay, don't get excited. So it still feels super surreal, and I still can't believe it. So yeah.
Awesome. And for future Mustangs who might be watching right now, what opportunities would you tell them they could have at Cal Poly?
Well, Mustang News. Definitely a great opportunity. I feel like when I was an admitted student and coming to open house, admitted students day, all the different weekends that they have planned, they always talked about learn by doing, and I was like, okay, but like actually, like is that actually something that happens? But yeah, I feel like at Cal Poly, every experience I've had here is just completely immersed in learn by doing. And yeah, I think Mustang News is a great example. The journalism department as a whole, I feel like I'm just based on my classes, I've already been so immersed in like the like journalism field, I guess. But I do think every college and every major has something to offer with learn by doing. Not how many times I say learn by doing.
If you are interested in joining Mustang Media Group for next year, our general staff applications are available online now. The deadline is the 30th, so don't wait. I also have some exciting news to share. Miss Lauren is going to be our managing editor for Mustang News next year.
Yeah.
And I would just love to hear, I know you've taken on many different hats during your time with Mustang News. Can you tell us a little bit about everything that you've done over the years to bring you to where you are now?
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting interviewed. I feel like I'm a special guest now too. But
you are.
No, yeah. Oh my God, thanks. But I like being busy. I started in my sophomore year, so I was on the video team, which is what we're doing right now, and then I was also on the KCPR news team because I had taken Journalism 333, which is like the intro to broadcasting class, and I loved it so much that I was like, oh, I want to stay here and I want to do this. And I did a lot of stories like during my sophomore year. I had so much fun, and so I wanted to stay in that. I wanted to keep doing it because I love Mustang News so much, and now I'm going to be the managing editor for next year, which is really, really exciting and kind of low-key a little bit scary, but everything that's scary is probably exciting in some way, shape, or form, so I'm just really excited. I know you also are a busy woman, and you also like wearing hats. Do you want to give us a little rundown of what you did?
Oh yeah, so I was a transfer student, and so I unfortunately missed the deadline. I was not listening to this podcast last year or the year when I was transferred, but I had an awesome opportunity in the winter quarter. They had the transitional program.
Yes.
So I had the option. It was a really cool program that I also highly recommend. You get to go and you get to sample every department of Mustang News. So every 2 weeks you are following a different department around, and then at the end you get to kind of figure out which department suited you the best, and then they take you on full time. And so I got to go with the Arts and Student Life team. I went with the news team. I went with the social media team. I went with the video team. I went with the marketing team. So really got to like try on all kinds of hats through that 10-week program. And then at the end, I was lucky and gracious enough to have the video team welcome me on, and so I've been with the video team ever since, and it's been an incredible experience. This year, I also decided to join the social media team, so I'm actually on the video team and the social media team, and they both are just like my pride and joy. I just love doing both of them so much. Even though like what I do is all like volunteer work in a sense, it's the most fun and rewarding experience I've had at Cal Poly. And so it's really shaped my experience, and I highly recommend it to anybody.
Yeah, and with the video team too, like we've had the opportunity to do this for the past like 2 hours, which is so great. I feel like today went really well. I had a blast sitting with you here, and I'm low-key a little bit sad that you're not going to be here next year because you're so mean and you decided you wanted to graduate and leave me.
Don't make me cry right now.
But it's okay. It's okay. You'll be here. You'll be around.
I'll be here. You know where to find me. No, it's been so awesome to get to sit and be here with you for the past 2 hours. Like before I even transferred, like anchoring a show would have been like petrifying, and the fact that we're so comfortable with each other, and like this team has really encouraged me to grow and like do this for the past 2 hours has been awesome, and like it definitely just shows like how much progress, I guess, in a way, since coming to this school, and like how comfortable we've gotten being on camera, just through our classrooms and through like Mustang News itself. So it's been so awesome to get to, and interviewing with all of the people that we got to have today, and just like sharing all of this information with our audience at home has been awesome.
Yeah, and especially like shout out to our special team that's behind the camera, to everyone that's in the studio, and also Thomas Morales. So much love to you guys. You guys made us look great. But thank you to everyone who has been watching our show for the past 2 hours. We really hope you liked it. Do you have anything to add?
I was just going to say thank you so much, and please follow Mustang News on Instagram, and feel free to reach out if you guys have any other questions about anything, and we just really appreciate your time for tuning in today.
Don't forget to apply for Mustang News. The application's due April 30th.